How's it going, everybody? Happy hump day. We are at Wednesday, which means we are halfway through the week, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in with us and joining us today on this episode of the Mallett live stream. As always, I am Tyler, and today we actually have a super fun episode for you. I am really excited about this one. Worked really hard on putting this one together for you. But today we are talking about from 3D to real life, what it takes and what it looks like to go from our 3D designer to bringing your building to a real life structure that you can use, enjoy, store stuff in, live in if it's a barndominium, and so much more. But we'll get to that soon. As always, let's hop into our usual topics for the day. And hey, we have Where's Mallett today. Finally got all those bugs fixed and we are ready to show off where we're at this week. So as of today, in this week, we are in exactly 100 locations all over the South area, here from Texas to Mississippi and Louisiana. We are very excited. We are in 100 locations. We have 75 jobs going on here in Louisiana, which is crazy to me. Happy Wednesday, Mr. Tim. We are in the delivery phase. We have materials on the ground ready to be constructed. We have tons of buildings in construction. We have inspections going on. We have our forming crews busy all over. We have plumbing. Concrete is definitely being done, which means all these buildings you see here that have concrete happening, those are the final stages, aside from, of course, gutters, control joints, and red tags. But between the concrete, the gutters, and control joints, that's probably 20, 25 buildings right there, you guys. That means around 20 buildings are going to be finished just this week or as soon as these phases are done, weather permitting, and that is amazing. 75 jobs here in Louisiana. Now, we have 23 jobs in Texas, again, same stages, delivering to Orange, on the ground in Alvin and Cleveland. We have buildings in construction, 2 inspections happening, forming, we have plumbing, concrete, electrical, HVAC, gutters, red tags. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 buildings should be finished this week, weather permitting, and that is amazing. And then again, we have 2 in Mississippi, and that is just amazing. We love our logistics and scheduling team here. They are by far the greatest in the country because handling all these jobs is a massive task, and we don't take it lightly, and we appreciate everything they do. And thank you for being one of the 100 Mallett customers just this week that is in our stages of either construction, delivery, or on the books somehow, some way. If you are one of these hundreds, chime in, give us a thumbs up, and say hello, because we just want to say thank you. Now, you've seen Where's Mallett? Let's talk about why Mallett. I've been talking to a lot of customers recently, and a lot of the conversations stem from what's the difference in the Rival and the Mallett series buildings. That's a great question. Most people ask it. I love when they do because we talk about it every day here on live, and it is a phenomenal topic. So let's hop into that one. So the Rival series, to answer the question we get all the time, what is the Rival series? Well, if you're wondering that, here's your answer. The Rival series is first and foremost not a Mallett building. Now that sounds crazy because we build this. However, this is, to be honest, this is not something we want to sell you. This is considered a budget building. Now, what does that mean? It does not mean we're trying to force you to pay the most money. It means this does not come with all of the engineered features and pleasantries and all the extra upgrades and phenomenal quality you know and love from Mallett buildings. But what this does do is it gets the job done on a budget. Now that being said, this is industry standard that we have modeled over years of receiving quotes and information about competitors from just anyone who comes in and decides to bring a quote. We used to offer price matching. We offered several different factors. So we've taken all that information and said, this is what everyone's building. So we wanted to offer a budget build to match those specs and that quality. Now, this of course is not the same top tier quality as a Mallett building, but you do get the Mallett builders. Now, what you will get in a Rival series is the following. You get 29 gauge metal, a 4-on-12 roof pitch, 2x6 common flat trusses, not our signature Mallett scissor truss. You also get a 130 mile an hour wind rated building. You're not gonna get the Mallett cable lock system or any kind of post pad, the posts are going to go straight into whatever aggregate is there. You're also going to get the double 2x8 headers, 3,000 PSI concrete, no microfiber reinforcement. Other people don't use microfiber, the Rival series does, and this is another way to save money. No ground protection, so no skirt board guards. You're going to have a limited warranty and number 2 generic lumber throughout the entire building. Now, as I said earlier, this will get the job done. It is a budget building, and it is just going to be something you get if you're not wanting all those bells and whistles. Now, as I said before, we don't necessarily want to sell you a Rival series. What we want you to get is for maybe $2,500 more is to hop into a Mallett Classic. I was actually doing some quotes today, and with some specials going on, there was a slim difference between a Rival series and a Mallett Classic. It was almost unnoticeable. And to jump from a Rival to a Classic, the difference in what you pay, again, being only about $2,500, $3,000, you get so much extra value, and there's tens of thousands in value just from jumping from a Rival to a Classic. Let's talk about that. You're gonna first off get 26 gauge metal as is standard with every Mallett building. You're gonna have the durability, the longevity, the extra sturdiness of that 26 gauge metal. It's stronger, thicker, more durable, longer lasting. It's better for your building. You're also going to get a 5-on-12 roof pitch standard. That is going to be, first and foremost, it's going to look more residential. If it's going in a residential area, this is going to match the ridge line of most homes. It's going to match the pitch, the look, the aesthetic. But most importantly, it's going to allow for better runoff of debris and water. It's going to ensure your roof lasts longer and looks better for as long as that building is around. Now we're also going to have 2x6 cathedral trusses. This is, as I mentioned, the Rival series uses common flat trusses. You're going to lose out on a lot of headroom there. So if you have equipment or anything going on inside that shop, you're probably going to want some headroom, and honestly, that extra headroom from these cathedral trusses, or scissor trusses as a lot of people know them as, it just provides a lot more breathing room. If you ever get claustrophobic in tight spaces, you may want to consider upgrading to cathedral trusses. Now, these trusses are going to be third-party inspected because here at Mallett, we are truss builders. We have our own truss plant, which means we are able to offer our trusses to other individuals and other companies. That being said, some of these companies require us to be audited and inspected to ensure we're not only passing the state and legal regulations and codes, but the standards that we have set forward and have agreed to abide by, and we're happy to say we pass that inspection every time. Now, our buildings are going to start off at 140 mile-an-hour wind load rating, which is 10 miles an hour more than the Rival series and most other builders. Now, that 10 mile an hour on paper may not seem like a lot, but in these storms, this is Louisiana or Texas, Mississippi, wherever you may be, the South Gulf Coast region, hurricanes are crazy, they happen, winds are wild. That extra 10 mile an hour can make a difference between having a building when you get home or having nothing left when you get home. So that is something to strongly consider. Our buildings go up to 160 mile an hour wind rating on the Elite building with 170 on the roof structure. So keep that in mind when you're making your consideration. We're also going to have the Mallett cable lock system. Speaking of high winds and hurricanes, this is going to be a way for you to ensure your building is there for the long haul. So the Mallett cable lock system is our series of, had a brain fart. It is a series of 1/8 inch aircraft cable that is bolted into each and every post around the entire building. Those posts being 6x6 posts, that's going to be the structural framing of your building. But attaching to those posts all the way around is going to be these cables. And on top of that cable is going to be the 4-inch, 4,000 PSI microfiber reinforced concrete slab. Now that concrete is going to, again, be on top of the cables. That microfiber is going to be all through that concrete, making it stronger. And if you ever do have any hairline cracks, which is bound to happen with most all concrete, it's going to help prevent those cracks from spreading and getting any larger, which is peace to most people because no one likes to see a crack in their concrete. But back to the cable lock system. Once that concrete dries, as you probably know with post frame construction, there is no structural weight on the slab. It's what's called a floating slab. So all the weight is going to be in the post of that building. The cable lock system with the cables attaching each post together with the concrete is going to allow for all that weight from the concrete to be pushing on those cables, holding that building down. So in a hurricane situation, say a window breaks or a door gets blown open and that wind rushes into your building, it's going to want to find somewhere to go. It's likely going to bust out some windows, it's going to do whatever, but most importantly, it's going to want to go up and out as wind does. This is going to create a parachute effect on your building, wanting to pull that building up out of the ground. Now, in most cases, that's what's going to happen. That building is going to go bye-bye and it's going to fly away. The cable lock system prevents this, and that is the reason why we've had 0 building losses to hurricanes with the Mallett cable lock system, and we're incredibly proud about that. Now, we're also going to have that concrete go under each and every post in the form of a post pad. It's going to be an 80-pound bag of concrete that's poured into each and every post hole, and that's going to solidify and give a firm foundation for the posts to rest on. This is going to prevent unwanted settling and sinking and wonkiness in your building, keeping it level, flat, straight, and looking good the entire time. Now, we're also going to have double 2x12 headers. This is going to be a huge feature of a Mallett building. Not only, look at this, 2x8 headers. I'm not sure if you've ever seen a 2x8 piece of wood. It's fairly large, but a 2x12 is massive. And using this as the header system is going to provide incredible rigidity and structural integrity in your roof system, which is another reason why we have such good wind ratings. We've talked about the concrete. You're going to get skirt board guards for ground protection. This is a wrapped and guarded piece of wood that goes at the base of the building to help prevent pretty much everything that happens at the base. It's going to prevent the dirt from getting in. It's going to prevent scratching and unwanted destruction of the bottom of the building. It's going to protect your skirt boards. The name is as simple as it gets. It's a skirt board guard. We're going to have a 4-year workmanship warranty on the classic building, going up to a 10-year warranty on our elite building. We're also going to have #1 MCA ground-treated kiln-dried lumber throughout the entire building. This is another feature that sets us apart leaps and bounds beyond most other builders because, first off, a lot of people just can't get the #1 lumber, and most of them don't want to pay for it because it is a little more expensive. This is one of the features that add into the price of our building, but it definitely is worth it because, first and foremost, #1 is #1 for a reason. It is significantly stronger and more durable than #2 lumber. On top of that, every single piece from the boards on the ground to the boards in the air are going to be MCA ground treated lumber. What does that mean? That means this lumber is going to be protected from insects, wood destroying termites, beetles, things of that nature, as well as the weather and the elements. Now we're going to have it kiln dried as well, so in a controlled environment, it's going to be heated to a certain temperature, which is going to draw that excess moisture out. You may hear the term wet wood, or anytime you've screwed into a piece of wood. I had this happen the other day. I was building a pit at our church. Fun story there. It was a big play area for the kids. But anyway, we were screwing into this wood and it was #2 wet wood. And every time we would screw into the wood, that wood would just have what looked like water and juices come out of it. That's wet wood. So eventually what's going to happen is, as it's sitting out in the elements, the sun is going to dry it and it's going to contract and shrink. And in some cases, it's going to break and be more brittle. When it's kiln dried, it is in a controlled environment, heated, and it's going to be available to, or prolonging the life of that wood. Even if you do not have a breach into the building, very high winds across the roof. Absolutely. Mr. Tim's absolutely right. As always, thank you for chiming in, Mr. Tim. But every piece of wood from the base to the roof is going to be kiln dried and ground treated. So on top of all of that, we're going to have our in-house engineers, because here at Mallett, we are also a licensed engineering firm. And what that means is every step of the way from design to completion, we're going to make sure that everything is done the right way to engineered specs to make sure you get the best building possible. That being said, from the design process, we're going to make sure it's created perfectly. And then the building process, we're going to make sure it's built to the design specs and to engineering codes, standards, and everything we have laid out for you to be sure, again, you get the best building possible. So that's a long-winded answer to what is the difference in the Rival and the Mallett series buildings. Hopefully that answered any questions you may have had. I know, again, it was a little long-winded, but there's a lot to talk about. Not so many specs on the Rival. Again, this is a very budget-friendly build, but it puts into perspective how affordable it is to get some of the best buildings in the country, because the Mallett Classic, which is our entry-level building that's been around forever and only getting better day by day. There's been many of changes to it just since last year, and you're going to see that here soon. But for about $2,500, $3,000 more, you can go from a rival to a classic, and you can get that engineered quality that you've come to know and love from Mallett buildings. That being said, let's move right along. If you are considering purchasing a building from us, we want to let you know that every day we have $500 off. If you are a healthcare worker, first responder, military personnel, or teacher or educator, we just want to say thank you. So be sure you claim your $500 off whenever you purchase a Mallett building. Now, if you're looking to upgrade to a signature or elite building, which is the best of the best in the entire business, comment cash on a live video just like this one, and you can get $1,000 off your building. I like to say that's $250 off per letter. I'm like Vanna White up here. Everything we touch, you're getting a little cash back. So make sure you comment cash and get your $1,000 off, and we'll make sure the price is right. I don't know if I can say that on live, but this does not apply to specials or promotional items. However, we do have some phenomenal specials, so let's check those out. We are still in our March Madness. We want to make sure you have as much opportunity as possible to get a Mallett building, so we added another special this week. The first one is going to be the Is Your Size Big Enough special. This is going to make sure you get more bang for your buck and get the most value possible. So you can get a 30 by 50 for the same price as a 30 by 40 right now. So you're going to have 30 by 40 pricing, but we're going to throw in an extra 10 feet onto the building. So you get a 30 by 50. Now, this is going to be an elite building, the best of the best. So if you were considering a building, now might be the time to get on the books, because come Sunday, this deal is gone. And we're not going to have it again, because this is a week by week deal all of March. Now, again, this being an elite building, you're going to get elite features and benefits. You're going to get 2 12 by 10 roll-up doors, 2 3 by 5 windows, 1 36-inch walk-through door, as well as gutters, insulation, ridge vents, post protectors, 6-inch 4,000 PSI microfiber reinforced concrete. You're going to get the optional wainscoting. You're going to get all these other features, 160 mile an hour wind load rating, 170 mile an hour rating on the roof system, a 10-year warranty, and so much more, you guys. On top of that, you're going to be essentially getting $5,500 back, because that extra 10 feet is free. So for this week only, $41,250, you can have a 30 by 50. So normally this would get you a 30 by 40, but we're giving you a little extra this week. So keep that in mind. Get on the books and don't miss out on this amazing special, guys. We're giving away 10 foot of building. I saw just today, we had maybe 3 people on the books. There was 1 or 2 for sure. A third one we were talking to, and we're probably going to have a 4th one tonight when I get off the phone with them, because that's what we do. But don't miss out. Now, if this isn't your speed, we have another special. This week also, you can choose your eave height. Now, we can't mix and match the specials, but what you can do is pick your eave height on this building. So you can get a 40 by 80 by 12, 14, or 16. This is also an elite building, the best of the best. So you're gonna get up to $11,000 value, guys. You get to jump 4 extra feet if you want for free. So don't miss out on that. You get 4 extra feet of eave height for free. That's up to $11,000, you guys. Don't miss out. Mr. Tommy, I know you were saying hey to Mr. Tim, but hey there, Mr. Tommy. Good to see you too. So don't miss out. You can get a 40 by 80. That is, let's see, I'm gonna do quick math here. So 16, 3,200 square foot at 12, 14, or 16 foot tall, you guys. $11,000 value this week only. Don't miss out. Now we also, this month only, have the Cajun Oasis. We are working very diligently on creating a new package to replace the Cajun Oasis, but it's really hard to find something to replace such an amazing deal. But what this deal does offer is a 30 by 50 by 12 for $49,999. Now what comes in this, you're gonna have an insulation package, you're gonna have climate control package, a basic electrical package, as well as a 5-ton wall mounted unit. Now that looks like this here. If you've ever been here to our facility, which we're gonna talk about later, you have seen this building because we have a couple of them here on site and we're using them as office space. But between the electrical and the 5-ton unit, that is a $16,000 value that you're gonna get for free. So we also offer spray foam if that's something you're interested in, so let us know about that as well. But you can get this beautiful Cajun Oasis, and I tell you it's amazing, guys. This will be the perfect office, home gym, studio, hair salon, game room, in-law suite, he shed, she shed. That's the first time I have said that perfectly without messing up. But it can be whatever you want, because as soon as we're done and everything, the concrete's poured, everything's signed off, all you have to do is plug your power in and turn the lights on, and it is heated to a perfect 71 degrees, because it could be heated or cooled, which you're gonna need all in the same day here in Louisiana. But this is probably gonna be going away at the end of the month if we can finalize that special in time, but keep that in mind. Now, we've talked about the Elite a lot today, so don't worry. We have the Cajun Oasis in the Elite package as well. You're gonna get all the added benefits and bonuses and features, which is up to a $20,000 difference when you add everything piece by piece, but it's only gonna be a $10,000 difference on the price. So a 30 by 50 by 12 for $59,999, but you get the best of the best building with all the features. As you can see here, there's those double windows. You get 2 roll-up doors on the Elite. You're gonna have a walk-through door, optional wainscot, gutters, ridge vents. You're gonna have closer truss and post spacing. You're gonna have 6-inch 4,000 PSI microfiber reinforced concrete, a 10-year workmanship warranty, 160 mile-an-hour wind load rating on the building, 170 on the roof, as well as what comes with the Cajun Oasis, which is insulation, a climate control package, a 5-ton unit, and the electrical package with the option for spray foam if that tickles your fancy. Now, again, same $16,000 value. So basically, you're getting free value for the difference in this and the Cajun Oasis Classic. So don't miss out. The Cajun Oasis is not going to be here much longer, probably the end of March. So if you're interested, get it while you last, because this is the perfect little getaway, hence the name Cajun Oasis. Everything is done for you. Heated, cooled, electrical, it can be whatever you want. So give us a call, 337-214-0428, and we're gonna make sure you get to enjoy your Oasis before it is gone. Now, if you are considering purchasing a building and you're tuning in right now, of course we want you to come to Mallett, but we want you to do your due diligence. We want you to feel comfortable and educated about coming to Mallett. Therefore, we've created this list of 5 things you should look forward to or to look out for when you are doing research on your builder. Red flag number 1 is going to be years in business. You can check that at the Secretary of State website. First and foremost, if they do not appear on the Secretary of State website, then they're not a licensed business, and you shouldn't be trying to do business with them because they can't do business with you legally. So keep that in mind. Now, if they do have a license, that's awesome. See how long they've had that license, because if they've only been doing this for a little bit, you might be their guinea pig. And there's nothing wrong with being someone's first customer. We understand that. But you also understand that with years in business come years of experience. And you want to make sure who you're doing business with when you're spending $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 or more on a building, that they know what they're doing. So just something to consider. Now, speaking of licenses, they also have to have the proper contractor's license. That being said, Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, or the LSLBC for short, is the place to check that. You're going to want to make sure they have the proper contractor's license. Here at Mallett, we have all those licenses, and we want to make sure that people you do business with, even if it isn't us, also have those licenses. So make sure they are properly able to legally do the work on your property. Now, if they do have a license, again, that's phenomenal. They've passed the first 2 checkpoints. But here's where most people fall short in this business is going to be contractor violations. You can also check this at the LSLBC. Unfortunately, this is with most contractors. They're going to have some sort of violation, and it is an unfortunate fact of the business, but Thankfully, here at Mallett, in our 27 years, we have 0 contractor violations, and we're incredibly proud about that. And we plan to keep that going as long as we're in business. So make sure you check for those, and if they hide those violations from you and you have to find them on your own, that in itself could be a red flag right there. Now, if they've passed all the checkpoints until now, we get to red flag number 4, which is going to be reviews and customer testimonials. This one is so important because the public speaks. And what the public has to say is typically their experience or how the builder made them feel. Regardless of what happened, we're going to remember how we felt. And this is usually depicted in the form of a review or testimonial. Now, we're proud to say at Mallett, we have over 700 reviews between the Better Business Bureau, which we are A+ rated and accredited with, and Google, we have over 700 reviews. In these 700 reviews, you're going to find the vast majority of them are 5-star glowing reviews, and there's going to be a couple of 1-star negative reviews, as is normal with everyone. Now, we understand that you can't make every situation perfect with every customer, but we'd love for you to check out both the good and the bad, see where we did right and went wrong, and how we mitigated both situations. And if you're looking at reviews, be sure to check out other individuals' reviews who you may be considering doing work with, because first off, no one's going to have as many reviews as us. But most of the reviews a lot of people have, at least in my experience in researching, are going to be not the best reviews. And that's just something to consider. Make your own decision how you make your own decision, but that is something to take into consideration. Now, if they've made it past all 4 of these checkpoints and they have made it to this red flag number 5, visit the contractor's facility. Now, why is this a red flag, you might ask? Because not everyone has a facility. They don't have the building. They may have a tiny office, which is fine. Everyone has to start somewhere. But if they're doing business out their truck and you're signing contracts on the hood of someone's car, that could be a red flag, because that could be a sign they're not here for the long haul. There's plenty of fly-by-night companies who are doing things like this, and we just simply want to warn you about that and help prevent you from losing money and getting into legal battles that are going to take way longer than they're worth paying for to pay for. But here at Mallett, we have a phenomenal facility that we're very proud of. We have our own truss plant, like I mentioned earlier, where we make every truss by hand. We supply every piece of truss and wood that we have. We also have a roll form plant coming along soon that's looking phenomenal. We have some new metal being done on there as well. So if you ever come take a tour, which I highly recommend, be sure you check that out. We also have the gutter plant where we make each and every gutter that goes on these elite buildings in-house. We also have the packing and shipping plant where all of our deliveries take place, and much, much more. But most importantly, we have each and every one here in the office who, from designers to engineers to marketing to the building specialists, who are here to make your journey that much more pleasant, and we encourage you to come in. So make sure you stop by. If you're ever by Iowa, Louisiana, or heading down Interstate 10, you pull off and you come stop by the building. You can't miss it, I promise. It's the big green building, says Mallett Buildings. But when you're here, come take a 15-20 minute tour, hang out with your building specialist, talk a little bit about your building, your dream, your goals, your vision, what you plan on doing with the building and the space, and let's make some magic happen. Let's make sure you have the perfect building that fits exactly what you need and more. Something you can be proud of. But that being said, let's hop into the fun part for today. From 3D to real life, what is involved in the process from designing your building yourself to having it designed and built in person? We have a phenomenal example here, and we're going to dive into the specs. But first, I want to talk about what is the 3D Builder and how do you use it. So first off, it's exactly what it sounds like. The 3D Builder is an online tool we have on our website that allows you to construct the building to pretty much exact specs of what you're looking for. So say you want a 30 by 30, okay, you're gonna plug in 30 by 30, it in real time creates a building that is a 30 by 30 building. You then choose your roof pitch, you choose if you want any lean-tos or gable extensions. You're then gonna choose what colors, the pitch of the roof, you can choose everything, you guys. If you want that gable to be enclosed or open or whatever you want, the 3D Builder is there to make that happen. And then when you're done, you can hit submit and you can actually get a quote on the building that you've just built. We've had tons of submissions for these 3D builders, and we love looking at them. First and foremost, you guys blow me away with the creativity you have on these buildings, and we just love watching these 3D builds. So if you're in the market for a building or you just simply want to know what your ideal would cost, try out our 3D builder, submit it for a quote, and a building specialist will be with you to get you started on your journey. So that being said, let's hop into 3D to real life. As I mentioned, the 3D builder is going to be a piece of a software on our website. And when you go to mallettbuildings.com, you're going to see our beautiful homepage because we are slowly updating our website to be beautiful, gorgeous, and wonderful. That being said, at the top on the second part of the tab at the moment, you're going to see something that says 3D model. You're going to click that button and it's going to bring you to this page here. And if you scroll down, you're going to get this beautiful video where it explains how to use the 3D builder. So you're going to see this is exactly what it looks like. But when you get into it, you're going to go scroll down some more and you're going to see this little section here, Launch 3D Designer. You're going to click that button and get brought to this page here. This is going to be your 3D space. Now, again, you have your width, your length, your height. This is the building dimensions we talked about. You could even change the environment, what it looks like. You can add colors, the walls, the roof options, lean-to, building extensions, windows and doors. And funny enough, I have some friends who use this all the time, and their favorite part of this is the add to scale because you can put everything from tractors, people, airplanes, cows, all sorts of things to check the scale of the building. It's super fun, and honestly, it can be a little funny at times, but that's the fun in it. So make sure you play around with this and get your building perfect, but let's hop into some people who have done this and see what they've submitted. So this is going to be Mr. Jerry's building. We showed it off a little bit earlier. He designed a 40 by 60 by 12 signature building. Now he used our 3D builder and came up with this beautiful gallery blue building. He's going to have gallery blue on the walls and roof. As you can see, the trim is in Alamo and the door is satin white. So beautiful building. Mr. Jerry did a great job here. He's going to have a 512 pitch and he added this wing here that's a 14 by 60 by 9. So he used our 3D builder to take care of this. Now from that 3D builder, we got the specs. If you've ever had a contract here at Mallett, you have seen this sheet here. So he had a signature building and he had a 40 by 60 by 12 with a 512 pitch, a 5-foot truss spacing, and he had a wing which is 14 by 60 by 9 foot tall, and he chose mono trusses for the wing. And this is just going to depict all the information. This is everything you have to put, or you can put into your 3D designer. He got the ridge vents. He had all treated lumber. He opted for 26 gauge metal, of course, because that's standard with every Mallett building. Excuse me. He has skirt board guards. He added post protectors, insulation on the roof and walls, and so much more, you guys. So this is our spec sheet. Now moving right along, this is the finished product of Mr. Jerry's building, and it turned out beautiful. You can see those gutters. He has not one, not two, but 3 roll-up doors, a walk-through door, and so much more. This is another picture of his building here. Not completed, but this is in progress shots. And this is the side view here, so another door there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 roll-up doors on this building. Now moving along, we have a classic building here, and this is going to be Mr. Blaze. He has a 30 by 60 by 14 classic building. Now it's going to be a 4-on-12 roof pitch with a 30 by 15 by 14 extension on the gable end. The color is going to be burnished slate on the roof, which is probably our most popular roof color. We're also going to have taupe walls, desert trim, and satin white doors. This 3D model is very functional, some may call it basic, but I think it's beautiful. It is a phenomenal build. The building looks great. And now this is his spec sheet. Again, you're going to have your colors, your sizing. He opted for the 4-on-12 pitch. Let's see, he chose 29 gauge metal, no ridge vents. He did add post protectors, even though it's a classic building. 6 by 6 post, 10-foot spacing. And now this job is from 2023, so a lot of this has been changed. So it is now standard that we have 26 gauge metal, and that is going to be a huge upgrade there as well. We also have standard 512 roof pitch. So you can see here all these specs. He didn't have ridge vents. He opted for the 29, 10-foot spacing. He had post protectors, he had skirt board guards, roof and wall insulation, trimmed it out. Beautiful, beautiful building. So he had 4-inch, 5,000 PSI concrete. So let's go ahead and look at this video. I want to walk you through in real time. I went ahead and designed Mr. Blaze's building here, and I wanted to show you exactly what that process looks like. This is definitely sped up. I made this in less than 10 minutes, and I condensed it to 1. So we're gonna go ahead and watch this and see what we have. Let me get over here so you can see the specs. So first off, we're gonna change the building. So we have a 30 by 60 by 14 with a 5-on-12 pitch for this case. We have a 14-foot height, 5-12 pitch there. And we're just gonna match the gable to the building. So as this is going right along, now we're gonna get to colors. That burnished slate with the taupe, and then the desert trim, satin white on the doors. We're adding the roll-up doors now. The builder puts it 10 by 10, but he had 12 by 10, so we adjusted those doors accordingly. Gonna add that door on the side, and that's a beautiful building. So as you can see, the building went from thought to creation to real-life building quite quickly, and his house is beautiful, by the way, but that building just looks great. So this is that building. Again, this is a classic build, but he chose to add the post protectors. And the building itself, the door is on that side, but it came out phenomenal. It all started with a 3D model. So again, here's a front view. You see those mono trusses on the gable extension. It looks like he added an electrical package. I see some plugs in here. And this is that side view and the top view with his beautiful property. He did a phenomenal job planning this. So that is from 3D to real life. I know this one was a little short. However, it is a beautiful process to see someone go from thought to real life. I know personally, that's the whole reason I went to college for graphic design and marketing, because I had all these ideas up here and I just wanted to make sure to figure out how I could get them on paper or on a computer. The 3D designer really helps get there. So if you've been considering a building or a storage unit or an extra outdoor space or a barn dominium even, if that's something that's on your radar or just something you thought could never happen because you couldn't figure out how to make it happen, I definitely recommend the 3D Builder. It is a phenomenal tool. It's great to get ideas onto the screen. And again, you could even submit those ideas and have a building specialist call you with a price on your idea and just to see how that would go. So if you're interested, please go to mallettbuildings.com, check out the 3D Builder and have yourselves fun. Even play around with the to scale images, because those planes are pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie. But that is the episode. If you already have a Mallett building and you want to join our Mallett Ambassador Club, that is the one prerequisite to join the Mallett Ambassador Club, is to be a Mallett Buildings customer. As an ambassador, you have the opportunity to share your experience with other customers, and if you'd like, you can even show them your building, because a lot of people just want to see a building in person and hear from a real life customer how their experience went. This is the way to do it, and it also gives you an option to earn a little extra Mallett cash. Now, Mallett cash is real cash in the form of a check that is sent your way anytime a customer you help us get to purchase a building purchases a building. So anytime you're involved in that process, you receive compensation for your time, and we just want to say thank you for being a Mallett customer. Now, if you have any questions about the Mallett Ambassador Club, comment Ambassador and we will get you all the information on that. That is going to be our show. As always, I'm Tyler. Thank you so much for watching. It has been a phenomenal and fun episode. If you learned anything or just had fun hanging out with us, please be sure to leave some love on the video, like it, share it with a friend who might find it interesting or could learn something from it. And again, if you had anything you learned from this, please be sure to also subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook, and turn that notification bell on so you never miss any cool, engaging content. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're still with us, you're awesome. Thank you for being here. See you guys tomorrow, and have a phenomenal rest of your day.